This is the NMDR data visualizer model hands-on session. In this session, I'm going to be going over a brief introduction of the data visualizer model. We're going to be going over the data visualizer interface. We're going to briefly overview the types of visualizations, how to set dimensions, how to change chart layouts, how to set chart options, saving, sharing, and downloading the charts, writing interpretations, and analysis integration. An introduction to the data visualizer model. The data visualizer model is used to display our charts in various formats. We can use this model to create visual representations of our data. Here you can see an example of a radar, a column, and a map. These are all examples of visualizations that we can create from our data in DHIS2. Caption says a picture is worth 1,000 words. We are going to demonstrate this in this session. To access the data visualizer interface, we navigate to the app menu and then we click on the data visualizer application. After clicking on this, the data visualizer application will load, and this is what the interface looks like. The major components on this application are the chart area, then we have the chart types. Here we can see all the chart types: the column charts, stacked column, bar charts, stacked bar, radar charts, pie charts, area chart, line charts, gauge charts, year-over-year line charts, and year-over-year column charts. Also perform analysis integration by opening our chart as a map. Other components are the chart dimensions to the left, the chart controls to the top, and then we have the chart layout function. To create a chart, the first step you take is selecting the dimensions, starting from the data dimension. Clicking on data dimension brings out this dialog box. Here you can see all the data types to choose from and the data items. So you can select indicator data elements, data sets, and event data item, and then you can select a data type group. Here under data elements you can see a number of data groups. These filter the data items that we can choose to create our chart. Here we're going to use fever tested by RET and fever tested by microscopy. To select an item, double click on it, and this goes to the selected data table. You can also click once on an item and click the right arrow symbol to move it to the selected data table. After choosing our data dimension, we click on update. As you can see, from the default selections, we already have a chart loaded. But the next thing we need to do is to select the periods. So we click on the period dimension by the left. This pops up a dialog box. By default, last 12 months is selected. So we deselect this by clicking on the cancel icon. Then we move on to select our desired period. There are two modes selectable for the period dimension: the relative periods and the fixed periods. Now, relative periods are periods relative to the current date, e.g., we have last 3 months, last 12 months, etc. There are different types of relative period sets. To access a type of relative period set, we click on the period type at the top. This brings out a list of period types you can choose from. Now we have fixed period. A fixed period is a definite or absolute period of time. An example of a fixed period is January 2019 or week 2 2019, etc. There are different types of fixed period sets, and this can be accessible by clicking on the period type. Now we can click a different period type for a different year. So we can select a period type and a year type. Clicking on the period type would bring out a list of period types to choose from: daily, weekly, monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, 6 monthly, yearly, financial year, etc. We can change between relative and fixed period by selecting our desired type at the top. We can also select all or deselect all. Selecting all would select and move all the available options to the selected data table, and deselecting all will move all the selected options back to the unselected table. Here we selected 6 months, which is also a relative period. When we are done selecting our period, we click on update. We can see that our chart will change to the already selected period. Next thing to select is the organization unit. By default, the rules organization unit is selected, in this case, federal government. We can filter org units by user access. Multiple org units can be selected by ticking all the applicable options. Also, you can select an org unit group or level instead. After doing so, click on update to apply the selected dimension. After selecting our dimensions, we can use the layout to arrange the way in which the chart is displayed. Here, switching the dimensions in the layout changes how the chart displays data. Here we are going to try to switch the data and the org units, and then we'll see how the chart is displayed. We can see that our chart now displays data for all the states and federal governments with regards to fever tested by RDT and tested by microscopy. We are going to change the layout back to the original format for the rest of this lesson. The next thing to consider is saving a chart. We click on the file option and click on save, and then we enter in the name and a description of the chart. Here we are going to name our chart fever testing, and we are going to leave the description blank for now. To download a chart, click on the download option. You will see two options available: image and PNG. And with regards to the data, you see 5 options available: JSON, XML, Excel, CSV, and they are advanced options. Here we are going to download our chart as an image. Clicking on that would open a new tab displaying our chart as an image. And now we can right click on this image and click Save As to download the image to our file system. Next thing we're going to consider is changing the chart options. There are three major chart options that we can change: the data options, axis and legend, and the style option. There are a number of different options here that we can try out. For example, giving the chart a title or a subtitle in the style option. Another thing we can do is writing interpretations. To do this, we click on the interpretation tab to the right, and then this brings out our options. Now, as a user, we can write a particular interpretation for that chart and click Save. This interpretation will be visible to anyone who visits this chart. And then we have analysis integration. In this case, the DHI still allows us to open our charts as maps, as long as the map has been configured with the necessary details. Clicking on Open as Map would open our charts in the map area, in the Maps application. And we can also change the chart type. Here we are going to try changing it to line and to stacked bar charts. When you have clicked your desired chart type you want to change your chart to, click on Updates, and this updates the chart view. After you are done, you can always save the chart to update the chart you previously saved.
Since we have come to the end of this session, we're going to be performing a very simple practical. First, we are going to attempt to create a chart that compares fever tested by aridity against fever tested by microscopy. This chart is going to be a column chart. I'm going to create it for the year 2018 using your state as the org unit. Recall how we selected the data dimension, the period dimension, and the org unit dimension. We are going to use what we've learned to create this first step. Then the next step is going to be carried out in the options module. Explore the options module and try to figure out how to set a target line. You can set the target line in the data section of the chart options. Input the name of your target line and the value. In this case, the value of our target line is going to be 50. We are also going to do something similar for the baseline, but this time the baseline is going to be 0. Next, we are going to convert this chart to a stack chart, and we're going to apply the 100% stacked value option on our chart. This can also be carried out in the options menu. We are going to find the use 100% stacked value option in the data section of our chart options. Click on it to apply this particular step. Then save the chart using this name convention, your name underscore your state underscore fever testing underscore 2018. After doing that, download the chart you created in PNG format. Then convert this chart to a table and view the outcome. Going through these practicals will establish the knowledge you've gained in this session.
And as a recap, we've been able to discuss the data visualizer interface and controls, setting data dimensions for analysis. We have been able to discuss the layouts and different options for managing analysis, e.g. title, styling, etc. We've been able to discuss downloading or saving our charts. We've also been able to discuss writing interpretations for our charts and analysis integration.